Good morning, Port St. Lucie. Welcome back to another episode of PSL Daily Download, your first stop to all things real estate in Port St. Lucie. Today we got a great show for you. We're going to hit the numbers. We're going to get you in and out of here really quick with all the information you need to get your week started. So, before I get started, today is June 10th, 2024. Happy Monday. Hope you had a fantastic weekend. Today is actually, this week is actually a special week because CPI, the CPI report, Consumer Price Index report, which kind of is the indicator for inflation, or what's used for inflation, or one of the indicators for inflation, let me better state, will be released Wednesday morning, if I'm not mistaken. Tomorrow, the Fed will actually start their two-day meeting, which will end on Wednesday, and I'm sure they'll have that report early so they could see what's on that or how that reported. But they will, I think it's around 2 o'clock, they will announce their rate adjustment, if any. And then they'll have a meeting. Chairman Jerome Powell will actually be at the podium, I believe from 2:30, give or take about to about 3:30. And he'll answer questions. He'll kind of give the State of the Union address, his monthly one for inflation and kind of where the rates are. So he'll talk about that. But more importantly, what affects us is mortgage rates. So we've seen the rates kind of everywhere, honestly, since the beginning of this year. But recently they were coming down. And I had mentioned in a previous video that I kind of thought this was going to be the trend moving forward. And of course, that reverses and we're trying to see rates going up, which we'll get into those rates here in a second. But I think my forecast, I believe, I'm sure, you know, like I mentioned, it was flip a coin and it'll tell you if I'm right or wrong. But my thought is that we are on the other side of the rate hikes, or the rates being where they're at. I believe we should see lower interest rates moving forward. Now, if you lock into a rate today, keep in mind that you're going to be in that rate for a while. I don't expect the rates to come down drastically over the next few months or through the year. But, you know, long term, I believe we've kind of turned we've made the turn and we're kind of starting to see those rates come down. So we'll kind of see where they goes. Then that's why we track it. So let's start with inventory. So inventory, we are at 2339 right there, which is down 0.68 since Sunday. But the bigger picture is that it really hasn't moved. If you can see down there on the screen, it really hasn't moved. And actually, let me see if I can do one thing here. Bring that up. All right. So it really hasn't moved there. Also, what has moved is homes listed under 375. You can see that's actually dropped about 3% from about 600 to 582. Homes above 375 aren't really moving. Homes that are reduced are moving. They're down almost 7%. And homes that are listed, that are being listed for rent, has also increased almost 7%, 6.67%. So there is movement in the market. It's just not coming down on the overall number for inventory. So keep that in mind. Every neighborhood's different. You know, it's so inventory and the real estate is very hyper local. So there could be a community that has a ton of inventory where there might be a community right next door that does not. Some condos having a lot of inventory issues and a lot of homes sitting on the market, and then some aren't. So, you know, again, it kind of goes back to affordability and people qualifying for those properties. So, all right, we'll keep moving on. These are rates from Mortgage News Daily's Daily Rate Survey website, ending as of the last business day on Friday. So it was on the 30-year, they finished the day at 7.15 from the lenders that they track, which was up 0.12%. The FHA, again, I only track really those two. Those are the most common loans that I do personally. So the 30-year FHA is at 6.64, and that is up, or that was up 0.10%. Okay. Now I have received some rate updates this morning, and it looks like the rates have, or the pricing on the rates have increased about 11 basis points. So keep that in mind if you're in the position of having to lock the rates. Also, going back to the meeting that the Fed's having tomorrow and Wednesday, there could be some volatility. You know, the by seeing this, we could see, again, if I was a betting man, if the Fed comes out very dovish, meaning that they're like, hey, rates are around the corner, or if they cut rates, right? Like, I believe Canada already cut rates for the first time this month. So if they were to cut rates, I mean, I think because they've been increased over the last few days, that we might see potentially a big drop. But if the Fed comes out, Jerome Powell comes out and just basically does his normal talk, we may see rates kind of stay where they're at and not really impact anything. But I don't expect a very, bearish or bullish, let's say, Fed on Wednesday, because there's really no indicator that's really pushing inflation up. Everything's kind of slowing down a little bit, so I don't expect that to happen. But again, it could happen. I mean, they have obviously a ton more information than I will ever have, so they know more than I do. All right, let's move on to the U.S. Market News Watch on CNBC's website. So let me scroll up a little bit. And again, this is I'm not a financial advisor, and I don't play one on TV, but I do try to track this because it kind of tells us where the market and where the head of the market is, right? Like, what are they thinking? Are they being bullish? Are they being dovish? Are they or bearish, I guess, for the market? But anyway, so we'll see the three indexes, Dow, Nasdaq, and S&P. They're kind of mixed here. The U.S. 10-year Treasury yield is up 0.37 points, or 0.836%, which kind of explains the bump up in pricing this morning that I had mentioned. If this continues, we may see repricing to the upside. If it comes down, obviously, and that's possible, we may see pricing towards the downside, and that would be positive for people that specifically are locking in their rates today. So other than that, we have a busy day, a busy week. Again, the meeting CPI this week, that's going to move the market one way or the other. Either it's starting now or it'll happen once they make some announcements. But other than that, I hope you found some value in this video. If you did, please click that like, that subscribe button, and that little bell icon. And that will remind you when I put out my next video. So other than that, I hope you have a fantastic day. And before I forget, I will put a video right over here for you as well. So I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye.